Buy it, use it, break it, fix it, trash it, change it, mail, upgrade it, charge it, point it, zoom it, press it, snap it, work it, quick erase it, write it, cut it, paste it, save it, load it, check it, quick rewrite it, plug it, play it, burn it, rip it, drag it, drop it, zip, unzip it, lock it, fill it, call it, find it, view it, code it, jam, unlock it, surf it, scroll it, pause it, click it, cross it, crack it, switch, update it, name it, read it, tune it, print it, scan it, send it, fax, rename it, touch it, bring it, pay it, watch it, turn it, leave it, start, format it, Technologic.
Live from studios in Self Hall on the beautiful campus of Jacksonville State University, it's the Hey Techies Show. Now, here are your hosts in chairs that should have been thrown out years ago, Michael, Bruce, and the Guru.
Just don't know, Guru.
Don't know.
I don't know how we'll do it again tonight. It's just, just it's.
Well, you know what that calls for.
Well, I hope not.
You know I have to play this.
Apparently.
Bruce.
I don't know.
We have a stand-in for Bruce tonight.
Yes, we do. We have a shirt.
We have a shirt.
In Bruce's place.
Yes.
And every now and then throughout the evening, I'll probably ask Bruce a question or two and see what his reply is.
Yeah, or I'll say, man, I wish Bruce was here because of a certain thing we're discussing.
Yeah, sure.
We miss you, Bruce.
Get his opinions. But Bruce is out tonight. So anyway, welcome to the Hey Techies Show. So glad you are joining us tonight. And if you'd like to, you can join us here on the radio where you're already listening, or you can catch us online at heytechieshow.com where you can see us and hear us. And we'd love to have you. Also, if you want to be a part of the show, questions at heytechieshow.com. And if you want to brave the phones, 256-782
5600.
And you can join us here
I was
on the
pausing.
radio.
I was pausing for effect.
Well, so that's very good, Guru.
I'm not that good at it.
You should be pleased. Now, if many of you know that you left our program last week, we hung up the phone last week. We hung up the radio, clicked the little clicker, and we were off the air. And you know that we mostly talked about Apple, the latest Apple products that had come out during the week,
right.
Also the day before. Anyway, we had a listener named Mark, and he left a comment last week on our YouTube, and I just happened to notice it tonight. Actually, he left it 3 days ago.
Okay, so he watched the replay on YouTube.
Yeah, apparently.
Right. Well, thank you for watching, first of all.
Thank you, Mark, for watching and listening. We definitely appreciate it. He says there are a lot cheaper alternatives for basic phone notification and activity tracking. Fitbit, Garmin, etc., and they all have battery life than the Apple Watch and work with both iPhone and Android.
And that is absolutely correct.
Yes.
They
do different things.
Right. It goes back to what you're wanting out of your wearable. If you're solely having a wearable just for the activity, fitness piece, absolutely. I think Garmin, Fitbit, and others.
He forgot one.
What?
The now defunct Windows Band.
Oh, well, that too.
Some loved those. I
know.
Just love
Andrew Ware.
Yeah, just love them.
But those do fit the bill very well. A lot of them now do notifications to one degree or another.
Yes.
I've not used a Fitbit in enough time to know what they're capable of currently. You know, I think I said on the show last week, you know, I use mine a lot for notifications. I do answer some text with some of the pre-canned messages that come on this, and you know, I look at the weather and stuff, and a lot of that you probably can do with a Garmin or a Fitbit, or maybe a Microsoft Band if you still have one that works. I don't know, but yeah, there are choices. You do have choices.
I'm sure if you still have a Microsoft Band, it probably does work
for now,
to
maybe.
one extent or another.
Eventually
people.
Eventually, that battery will quit taking a charge.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. Anyway.
But
thank you, Mark, for that comment.
Thank you for the comment.
Because you're absolutely correct.
Yes.
We don't want to take sides here. Don't want to be the Apple Juicer show only, or the Android fanboy show.
We did talk about a little bit of the Android. I did not say it.
You almost did.
I said
you almost did.
Android watches.
Andrew Ware.
Android.
Just go ahead and say it.
I'm not. Android watches that, are on the market. We did talk a little bit about them, but we didn't really get into Fitbit and Garmin. Really didn't get into activity tracking mostly for the watches itself. Obviously, the Apple products do a great job of that.
Yeah,
we did talk about.
I filled in my activity circles today.
There you go. We talked about the that kind of thing. Also, the health benefits of one, as in being able to determine certain heart conditions.
Yes,
reportedly.
Yeah, the new Apple Watch is quite remarkable.
Yes,
what it's capable
it is.
of. We were talking about that at lunch one day within the last week with some coworkers. I don't know if you were there, Michael, or
Probably not.
But it's very intriguing what you can do with new Apple Watch.
Oh,
but
sure.
Personally, I can't justify the money for myself.
Right.
It'd be one of those. Oh, it'd be cool, but I don't want to drop $399. Just saying. But I mean, if you're on the fence and you got the money, hey, go for it.
Yeah.
So, but there's been some positive reviews so far. I mean, some of these folks in the media, unlike us, Apple forgot to send us our review unit of the Apple Watch and the iPhone XS.
I don't think we're getting one.
But some other people in the media did get early release, review units of these, and there's been some good reviews on the Apple Watch so far. I saw that. So people are already tearing apart the iPhone XS.
Yes.
They've already been started release over on the other side of the international date line coming this way. And there are also people standing in line as usual.
Of course there are.
There's a MacRumors article I found tonight. Thousands of people waiting in line.
Thousands.
So it says thousands of customers waiting in line at Apple retail stores for the iPhone XS, XS Max, and Apple Watch Series 4 as the global launch continues.
They do know they can buy them online, right, and have them delivered.
But it's not. You don't get to sit in line. That's like part of the cool.
Well, yeah. That's absolutely the point. You don't have to sit in line.
Well, tell them that.
No, I'm not telling them anything.
There's a picture here from.
It's fine that they want to do that.
I think it's an Apple store in Singapore. I mean, it's just like this. It's like as far as you can see, like the little serpentine line back and forth with the little stanchions. Just people just camped out in line.
Huh.
I mean, then that's just crazy. But yeah, I'm with you. Here's in Vienna, Austria. People lined up outside of an Apple store. We'll put this link in the show notes. This article, you can see the folks waiting in line for their iPhone.
By all means,
I will not be getting one. One of my coworkers, I talked to him this week. He currently has I think it's a 7. No, maybe it's not 7. I think he has a 6S Plus.
Well.
So he said, I'm going to pull the trigger and get a new iPhone. I said, which one you get? And he said he's going to get the iPhone XS. So it's got the same size screen as he's accustomed to with his 6S Plus. I said, yeah, you're going to buy the $1,000 version, huh? Not the $1,200 version. Like, yep. That's just, that $999 is just, it's a hard pill to swallow. But like we said last week, it's just going to keep on going up. I mean, we're going.
No, sure.
Here in a couple of years, we're like, man, that $1,000 iPhone was a bargain. Anyway,
I wonder what other phones are going to try to get into that arena. I mean, I know there are some other $1,000 phones, but it's not quite what Apple is marketing.
Yeah, and I've got another story about Tim Cook. We talked about what he was talking about last week with trying to have an iPhone for everybody and keep some affordability in their product lineup. Well, he got interviewed by somebody else in the media, and basically, I won't say what he said. That's a teaser. Stay tuned. We'll talk about that later in the show.
Okay.
About what he told the press. So it's basically he's kind of speaking out the other side of his mouth, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
In my opinion. So we'll talk about that and all that good fun stuff. We had some SpaceX news this week.
Got plenty of that. I've got some Amazon stack. I got a pretty good Amazon stack this week.
We got something coming out of Congress related to music.
Yes.
So we need to talk about that. Facebook in the news, Ticketmaster. I mean, we got you covered tonight.
Newegg is in the news.
Yeah, Newegg is in the news. But like last week was the Apple.
Yes,
very
I know.
Heavy Apple.
Well,
we're going to be a little more balanced and cover a lot more areas.
It sucked the wind. I told you.
Those Apple events do that. I mean, it is what it is. And if you're not an Apple follower, well, Just skip that episode and
suck
just
the oxygen out of the air
it sure
from
does.
the news air.
It sure does.
Well, the Hey Techie Show shall return quickly and be moving on to other topics.
That's right.
As follows. Hey Techie Show. Be right back.
We're just getting started. Plenty more Hey Techies Show for your listening pleasure.
The skills you can develop as a soldier in the Army National Guard can give you an edge in the high-tech job market of tomorrow. The Guard offers career training to take advantage of your skills in science, technology, engineering, and math that can help give you a leg up to a high-paying and rewarding STEM profession. Gain practical experience with emerging technology and equipment not found in the civilian world. The Army National Guard can get you started in an array of STEM-related career fields such as information technology, communication systems, special forces engineers, technical engineering, air traffic control, and chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear science.
Welcome back into the Hey Techie
Can't
Show.
beat some good old Frank Sinatra.
Yeah.
That's another tease here. We're going to talk about the SpaceX stuff here in a minute. That's why I kind of had that right
Going
here.
to the moon.
But we've got a call first.
All right.
Our good friend Daniel's on the line.
Daniel's on the line.
Hey guys,
Hey, Daniel, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing good. Is all my friends doing good from Hey Techies Show?
We
Doing
are.
well.
Yeah. Bruce isn't here, but we're doing well.
I hope he's okay.
Oh, he's fine.
Yeah, he's fine.
He did, as far as we know, though, he did lose his voice, apparently.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I told him he needed to get some glasses so he could find his voice.
That's right.
Well, I do a shout out to Bruce.
Oh, there you go. A shout out to Bruce.
Appreciate
Well, I
it,
know
yeah.
yeah. So you've been doing well?
I've been doing okay. I just I came and got groceries and got me something to eat. And
Hey.
on the way home was my favorite radio station. So I thought I'd call in because you guys were talking about something that I wanted to get your help on.
Okay.
Well, so I've had a smartwatch for a little while, the LG Urbane 2, and it's sort of like an Android.
Yes.
An Android product.
Yes.
It's really bulky, and the bands on it, they have nice bands, but the interface itself and the watch itself, it's very heavy, and it's very it's the plasticky metallic type stuff, and it loses its charge so fast. if I charge it and use it in a day, by 2 o'clock, it's
Oh,
gone.
wow.
So and please keep in mind, I've never been an Apple guy, always been Android. Not that I have anything personally against Apple, but I've been seeing many friends, many people who have iWatches,
Yes.
Yeah.
Apple Watches, and I thought maybe you guys would have a good recommendation.
I don't have anything, unfortunately, because I'm the Apple juicer
now-
of the group. But go ahead, Michael.
Well, now, LG, I haven't used this watch. What's the age of your watch?
The LG Urbane 2, I think, came out. It was maybe 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I actually won it in a prize,
Okay.
and so it was a prize. But I've had it in it. I think they've come out with another one since then, but I've not seen any more. So I think maybe the watch tanked. It's certainly not as popular as the Apple phones.
I'll tell you
watch.
I'll tell you the one I use, although I don't have it on right now because I got to get a new band for it. But it is the Fossil watch, and they have a new version out. Fossil smartwatches.
Like the old timey.
Yeah,
watches?
but they have smartwatch line. It's called the Q.
Also Q.
Q, yes, is the letter Q. Yeah, you can look it up.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
Okay, I'll check into that one.
and they're they start around $255 and go up.
You don't know what system do they use?
They use Android.
Android.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
yeah.
Yeah, Bruce is listening. He said hi to you, Daniel.
Oh, Bruce. Hey, Bruce.
Yeah, he's chatting away.
So
He's texting us.
one thing I did find real quick is PC Magazine this is back in April, so it's not very current, but it's still current enough. I think they did the best smartwatch of 2018.
Yeah.
And it's got some, of course, Apple Watch Series 1, Series 3, but there's some others like the Fitbit Versa, the Fitbit Ionic, the Huawei Watch 2, Samsung Gear Sport. So there's some. We'll put this link in the show notes. This article from PC Magazine.
thank
So
you
that
very
may
much.
be some. You can see some. I think they're a very reputable source for reviews. So
Okay.
The
I will
only
check it out.
the only thing is, there actually are new Qualcomm chips that they were releasing, but unfortunately, Fossil decided to stick with the 2-year-old chips. They updated their watches, but they left the chip. Now, the one thing they did update in this newest version is it has heart rate monitoring. The old ones did not have heart rate monitoring,
okay.
so they added that feature. As I said, I have a different series. I don't have the latest one.
Okay.
And
I'll check out the Fossil Q.
but
and
I do like it, and one of the reasons why I like it is because from all I can tell, the battery it'll last all day. It'll last
okay.
a full, really, 24 hours. It would
Yeah,
last.
that's very important to me. Battery
Right.
life. I have to have it to, if I want to get my phone out to do stuff. And
Right.
and I'm not not
Well, as
not
heard
in
on
post, but I'm not
right.
I'm not off from getting a Apple Watch. I just wanted more options.
Well, the thing about an Apple Watch, and we've said it here, and I know it's just it's something just rolls off the lips. You're going to have an iPhone to really enjoy it. I mean, to use the Apple.
exactly.
I didn't realize you have to.
Yeah.
Have iPhone
Oh, yeah.
to-
So if you don't have an iPhone, you're wasting your money on an Apple Watch unless you're going to go all in. Yes.
I didn't know that. I didn't
Yes, it does not work with Android.
I think that's somewhat assumed among us here in the studio, but yes, an Apple Watch will only work with an iPhone.
It makes perfect sense, though. It's
Yeah.
I would have thought about.
They have this whole ecosystem, and they want everybody to buy in. I mean, they think
Yeah.
it's great, and that's fine. It's their business model.
It is, but and they're missing part of the market, but they want you all in Apple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Well, thank you guys for the suggestion. I
Oh yeah,
appreciate you as
thank you
always.
thank you for calling. We appreciate your call.
No problem. Thank you guys, and you have a blessed evening. Okay.
You too,
You
Daniel.
too.
Call us anytime,
Thanks,
man.
guys.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Yep. So anyway,
It's good to hear from Daniel.
Thanks, Daniel. Yeah, we appreciate it. There we go. So so just to update, we did have he called. I guess it's been It's been weeks ago.
Yeah, it's been.
We thought the phone system died, but apparently his phone, or he lost a good connection and couldn't stay on. Okay, that makes sense because I was surprised that it just dropped the call. Cause that's not normal. Well, anyway, cool. Well, Daniel, we will put that link up in the show notes. As a matter of fact, I'll get it up there as soon as I can. And Bruce apparently has sent something. What is he wasting my time?
It's something about Amazon. We'll talk about it later.
Oh gosh, we got to cover the Amazon.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
He missed the night that he could cover the Amazon stuff.
Yeah, well, we played Fly Me to the Moon coming out of break because I wanted to at least talk. We need to talk about this in a little bit of depth. I know this is kind of pegging the meter of like uberness in terms of space travel, which it's not a. Those who are new to the show, I'm the SpaceX fanboy, I guess, of the group. I'm just fascinated by Elon Musk's company, what he's been able to pull off and is working on. So earlier this week, they had an event. And we talked about this last week. It was actually breaking during our show last week where either Musk or SpaceX One tweeted that, hey, we got an announcement. We're going to reveal to the world who we are sending to the moon.
Sure.
In our first, BFR mission to the moon.
Mm-hmm.
Tune back in, I think it was Monday night. Anyway, so Monday night got here, whatever night it was. They had their live webcast. Usually a live webcast from SpaceX has been a launch of one of their rockets, but this was an event they live streamed, and so Musk started out giving an update about BFR, and BFR is their next generation rocket,
right?
To kind of replace the Falcon 9, Falcon Heavy, and it's designed for sending stuff to low Earth orbit, but this is going to give them the capability of going to the moon, to Mars. This is kind of their solution to interplanetary transport.
Right.
So Musk got up there first and kind of gave the media an update where that's coming. There was some changes to what they said before, how they're thinking about design. That's what's fascinating about this, too, is they kind of opened the door, so to speak, of what they're working on. I mean, not to the nth detail, but they're kind of telling you what they're doing. So they talked about that for a little bit, in typical Musk fashion, which it was informative for the casual, observer. Well, then they got to the main event where they opened the door, said, "Okay, we're gonna, our first, we got a paying customer."
Yeah.
I mean, and this person is paying.
Oh yeah.
So,
sure.
And they revealed to the world that the person who will be on this is not the first BFR mission, but the first one that will have humans.
Correct.
That will be going to
circle the moon, right?
Going to the moon, which they showed the mission profile in it, but it's like they're just going to do like an Apollo 8 style lap around the moon, laps around the moon and come back.
Sure.
So I think we talked about it last week. We're trying to guess who.
Oh yeah, y'all had names all over the board. Yeah.
I didn't even try to guess.
Bruce was guessing.
Yeah, I forgot what Bruce was guessing who it was going to be. But anyway, I think we were having some conversation during this event Monday night between us three and some other folks we know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Bruce is saying if he could afford it, he'd like to go. I'd like to go too. Yeah.
Oh, I have no doubt.
So
you two, y'all should talk to this guy. Y'all could.
So the guy who's going, the guy that they revealed that's paying for this trip to the moon is a Japanese billionaire, Yusaku Maezawa. I think I pronounced that right.
You got it.
Oh, did I get it right? All right. Maezawa. He is the founder of ZoZoTown, Japan's largest online clothing retailer.
Yeah, he's a fashion designer.
Yeah. And he'll be the first, private customer, like I said, that's going to ride around the moon.
And he's taking 12 of his favorite friends.
Yeah.
That's my understanding.
He got up there to speak, and that's basically, he said, among other things, he wants to bring other artists with him.
Right.
So he did not say who that's going to be. But this is some of his quotes from that event. First of all, he said, "Finally, I can tell you that I choose to go to the moon. I choose to go to the moon with artists. I'd like to invite 6 to 8 artists from around the world to join me on this mission to the moon. These artists will be asked to create something after they return to Earth, and these masterpieces will inspire the dreamer within all of us." So, and I do, there's a Twitter account called Dear Moon, DEAR Moon. It's the Dear Moon Project. That's what they're calling this. And they revealed that to the world during that event, that Twitter account. And I will say this: my Hey Techies Twitter account was one of the first 100. I think it was one of the first. Did I say first 100? I can't remember what I told y'all.
Yeah, that's what 1,000.
First, yeah, it's one of the first 1,000. I wonder how many there are now. Let's see.
Yeah, you said it was first 1,000. You know what I found fascinating?
I feel special.
You were letting us know in
oh, their account's been restricted.
Oh, there we go.
Uh-oh. Maybe that's not it.
Well, Prince just missed the cut on this. He was a former artist.
Yeah.
Formerly known. I mean, he could have actually might have gone. They might want to have taken Prince since he's a former artist known as Prince.
Yeah. But anyway, so that was the big event. So the first ever human, not first ever human. That didn't come out right. The first ever paying person to go to the moon. Because the ones that have gone before from the Apollo era, they were NASA astronauts. But the first ever paying person to go to the moon, it's a Japanese clothing billionaire.
Sorry. Bruce says he wants Kanye to go for a one-way trip to Pluto. Bruce, I know you were on our little text.
We need some way we can like have like some sort of synthesizer like
but
interpret
he's also wanting the
messages.
Kardashians to go. Hey, okay, Bruce, I'll never be able to this phone.
You need to ignore him right now because you're
No, listen, seriously now. No, so Guru's telling us all this, and he's keeping us up to date. I mean, he's like one of those websites that you follow when you can't follow a live feed. They keep you updated. What's next? And
that was me on Monday night.
It was you, and you were doing a great job. And I was sitting there thinking while you were doing this because you were updating us, and then you said, "Oh, it'll hold 100."
Oh yeah, the actual ship.
Hey Bruce, it's only gonna take 5.5 trips to get all of Congress to the Mars.
Yes.
I mean, 5.5 of these it'll cover 535.
Well, that's one way to drain the swamp.
Yeah,
as our president would say.
Just think. But actually, they're going to have to do 5 at the same time because if they start sending information back, the rest might not want to go.
Oh.
So we're going to need.
Start building the ships.
Yeah, we're going to
get going on that.
We're going to need 5 to go right away. Yeah, well, 6. We're gonna need because it's gonna need 5, so it's 535. Yeah, we'll need 6 because they hold 100, and plus you might not can get 100 depending on weight, and so you
weight
might,
and balance.
Yeah, so you might could get 95 on tops on one.
Yeah,
so.
Elon, get started on that. Thanks, appreciate that.
Yeah, this way to your tax haven. That's right, Bruce. That's perfect, man. Oh gosh.
Oh man.
Yeah, so this is interesting. I don't want to go. I think I've made it clear on this show how silly I think it is, but whatever. Each to their own. He's paying. I mean, there's no telling. Somewhere
they did not disclose how much.
They're not, but there are sites out there, and I've seen them. They're estimating he's paying $1 billion to go.
Oh, easy. That's probably
Sure.
low estimate.
I mean, I think that's a little high, but myself.
Well, when you're a bazillionaire, I mean that's not a word.
Well,
but.
if he's gonna take 6 to 8 friends, so this might be a bargain. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder what he's actually like his net worth. Let's see what the.
Hey, I wonder, if we live long enough, I wonder if, like, how the president goes to Camp David? One day will the president go vacation on the moon, for a relaxing stay on the moon or even Mars? I mean, will that one day be the presidential relaxation?
I'm going to the Sea of Tranquility moon
yes,
base.
So posh.
I'm going to Armstrong Base.
Huh?
And I'm going to Camp Armstrong.
Camp Armstrong on the moon. Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
well, call it Camp Armstrong. That's
right.
a possibility.
Camp
What would
Armstrong,
they
could, Camp Lovell. He didn't make it to the moon.
Camp
in
Lovell.
Apollo
That
13,
is true.
But
Call Camp Lovell. That's a good point. Yeah.
According to Wikipedia, Mazawa, he's worth $2.7 billion as of March of 2018. Bruce, I gotta ignore you for right now. I'm sorry. That's too distracting. It's like when somebody comes to that window, I want to look
so
out.
Funny. Yeah, I mean, it's like we're texting and driving the radio station here.
Yeah, can't text and drive.
We can't text and drive the radio station.
No,
I don't know how that's going to work.
We may have an accident
here or something.
Yeah, so that went on this week about SpaceX. I wonder when the next SpaceX launch is. That just kind of reminds me.
My goodness! Whoa! Wait! Newsflash!
Uh-oh.
Guru does. If I could talk, I would. Guru says he doesn't know when the next SpaceX. Oh my goodness! He has a fever, folks.
But I have my app.
Yeah,
it's not. Oh, it's 2 weeks away.
Oh, 2 weeks. Oh, it's killing him. He's got 2 weeks to wait till the next
October
one goes
7th.
up. And that's a BFR as well.
No,
those aren't BFR.
BFR is not even made yet.
Oh shoot! I can't keep up.
But this rocket, the latest.
Oh, that's right. Falcon 9, right? Falcon Heavy.
Well, Falcon 9, Falcon Heavy.
There we go.
Yeah, this is a Falcon 9.
It's a big rocket.
Yeah. So Falcon BFR.
Yes.
It's like they're saying it's going to be around 30 meters in diameter.
Right.
Which I don't know what that is in feet. Do the math. Ask Google. It's going to be almost as wide as the Saturn V. Saturn V is a little bit wider, a little bit more diameter. It's going to be 100 and some odd meters tall, which is going to be a little bit taller than the Saturn V.
Wow.
But it's going to have like tons more.
That's
like
almost 100 feet.
Yeah.
30 meters wide is almost. It's 98.42.
Let's see. Make sure I tell you these specs right. But it's going to have the capability to take 100 tons to orbit. Comparing that to the Saturn V, it's like double the capacity.
Double the capacity
of the Saturn V, and that's one of the most powerful rockets that was ever made.
Right, correct. Yeah. Well, you need that to take a bunch of egos up to the moon or to even Mars.
I think I told you wrong. 9 meters in diameter, 30 feet.
Okay, it's 30 feet. I was supposed to say, man, that's one big diameter.
So, yeah, 9 meters.
9 meters.
118 meters tall, 387 feet. So think of a 38-story building. Which we don't have any of those around here, but think of like Houston Coal Library, like 3 times and a little more.
Right.
Because, Houston Coal Library is like 14 floors, so 2 of those and a little more. Imagine that. That's one big rocket. It's a big Falcon rocket.
Wow.
And here's the thing: it's supposed to be fully reusable. Like the whole thing can be reused. Like the bottom part will come off and land like the Falcon 9 does, but then the top part is the second stage and the ship. It'll go do its mission, and it will come back and land. And they can refurb and reuse it and send it back out. And if they can pull that off, that's going to be remarkable because there's never been a space vehicle yet that's fully reusable.
Right.
People think, oh, space shuttle. It was that big external tank.
That's correct.
It was thrown away.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very costly.
Yeah, there's a lot of documentary stuff about that. The space shuttle, it promised a lot, but then they couldn't pull it off.
And then, actually, if I'm not mistaken,
they couldn't pull off the full reusability, and it got very expensive to try to reuse it. They were probably better off.
If I'm not mistaken, the shuttle had to have a lot of fixing once it came back. They're like the tiles on the bottom.
That was part of it. Because I've watched some documentaries lately about the space shuttle program. Yeah,
and it was cool. But amazing.
Oh, it was. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. It was amazing. It's just fascinating me as a child and as a teenager watching that thing, launch and come back. But yeah, when they started launching it, the amount of effort to get it ready for the next flight was a lot more than they had estimated.
Right.
Which slowed down the frequency of the launches and increased the cost.
Exactly.
Because of the effort to get them refurbed.
Well, I'm just glad we're launching rockets from here again.
Yes,
instead of relying on other countries.
Because you have the Boeing Starliner and then SpaceX again, the Crew Dragon. They're getting ready to certify those for human space flight. So, sometime in 2019 we'll see those 2 spacecraft will take our NASA astronauts to the space station.
Right. Hopefully they won't have to use any gum to patch any holes on those. So
I hope not. Not with good old American engineering and manufacturing.
Well, Bruce did send in something that goes back to the fitness trackers, which we should. And I want to just say, Bruce, if you're still listening, I called this. I know you remember. I told you, and I've told others, that insurance companies and other organizations are going to start writing policies that you have to wear a fitness tracker.
Mandatory for insurance. That's what
Yeah, John Hancock in my pocket.
Could sign your John Hancock on your John Hancock for your John Hancock insurance.
Yeah.
Oh, that's an insurance provider. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we've talked about it on the show. I'm telling you.
I've heard of John Hancock before, but I didn't realize they were
It's an insurance company, yeah. They offer.
I didn't know they did health insurance.
They offer all kinds of insurance. I did know that. They're a big company.
John Hancock will now only sell interactive policies that collect health data through wearable devices such as a smartwatch.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that's coming. I mean, eventually you will have to have something to send back data about your health.
About your activity.
Yes.
Yeah, and policyholders, this is an article from BBC. We need to put this in the show notes too. They can earn discounts and rewards such as gift cards and they can earn discounts and rewards such as gift cards for hitting exercise targets. But critics said the announcement was, quote, creepy and dystopian. Yeah. Insurance brand Vitality, international partner of John Hancock, has popularized the idea of interactive health and life insurance by offering discounted devices such as Apple's smartwatch in connection with its policies. Oh, you want a cheap Apple Watch? Yeah, sign up for insurance, or we'll give you a cheap Apple Watch if you'll let us monitor you.
Yeah, I mean, this, like I said, it's not a surprise to me.
Yeah, this article goes on to say privacy advocates have warned that insurance could use tracking data to punish customers who fail to meet targets.
Yeah.
Person here, Matt Stoller, a fellow at the Open Markets Institute, said, naturally, the American dystopian surveillance state will combine insurance with fat shaming. Welcome to four-letter word that I won't say.
Yeah.
A very hot place.
Yeah.
However, the insurance industry says it is tightly regulated and must be able to justify rate increases or policy changes.
Oh,
You're not being active enough. We're going to increase your rate.
Absolutely. Or you're going, that kind of thing.
I mean, I try to stay active and healthy, and like I filled in my exercise rings today because I did walk at lunch. But there's just some days where if your schedule doesn't allow, or maybe I did too much work in the yard on the weekend and my back's a little sore on Monday, and maybe I'm just going to take it easy on Monday, or I'm a little under the weather, like, I've got a cold, congestion, or it's, pollen's out. I don't need to get out in it.
Right.
I mean, but they're going to punish you for that. But, you've got a legitimate reason why you're not, unless they look at it over a long period of time. I mean, it's creepy. It's very creepy.
Agree.
Just like, I was saying to somebody at lunch today about, the Roombas.
Yeah, we were supposed to talk about the new Roomba tonight.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Our friend at work, Jason,
we'll that's a tease for later. So.
Yeah, if we don't forget, we'll have that.
Yeah.
You know how we get on stints about things.
It's only a 2-hour show. We're already like 45 minutes in the first hour. I mean, so.
Well, when the Hey Techie show comes back, we'll move on to whatever Bruce wants to talk about, I'm sure.
Or
he sent a couple of things already. Thanks, Bruce, for listening.
Thanks.
Hey Techie show. Be right back. Welcome back into the Hey Techie Show.
Little drops of Jupiter, a little train in honor of Elon Musk and DFR.
Elon Musk.
That's right. Yeah, I was sitting there picking out the songs for the bumpers for this week. I was like, oh, that's a good one. Kind of go along with our space theme for the first hour, I guess you could say. Which we're probably going to move on to something totally unrelated.
No, we got plenty.
SpaceX or Elon.
I've got plenty of stuff regarding Elon. No, Bruce likes the.
So let me tell you this real quick to change the subject. But
Sure.
To not change the subject. So I think iOS 12, it was released this past week, last few days.
Yes.
So this was a MacRumors article, which this is no surprise. This is typical, but just still fascinates me. So iOS 12 was installed on 10% of devices 48 hours after launch.
I was one of those 10%.
I was not one of those 10%.
Oh, yeah.
I'm still on 11 dot whatever.
Now I'm talking
whatever.
about on an iPad Air.
Well, I haven't installed it on any of my iOS devices, but I'm not one of the 10%. You're a 10%er.
Mine's faster. I can tell a huge difference, a noticeable difference.
It's funny you brought that up because that's been reported elsewhere. And
I mean, I've never noticed a difference in an operating system update making something this much faster.
Yeah, and there's an article from Ars Technica that also pulled for the night. Other people are reporting it as well. iOS 12 on the iPhone 5S, iPhone 6 Plus, and iPad Mini 2 is actually faster.
Yeah.
So, I mean, hey, that's pretty good because those devices have been around quite some time.
My iPad Air was already decent as it was. It was fun. And I've had some glitches here and there, but, it's usually just app issues, normal things.
In this Ars Technical article, when they tested iOS 11 on the iPhone 5S, they said it was clear that it was slower than iOS 10. And the phone's ringing over there. But anyway, it was clear it was slower than iOS 10. But now it's actually faster, according to this article. So, and that's got the A7 chip, and we're at the A12 chip currently. And I've lost my train of thought because I'm distracted by Michael over there answering the phone. Can you tell I can't do this show by myself very well? But anyway, and they've got some this article. We'll put it in the show notes because it shows like app launch times for different iOS applications, and you can see like very clearly Safari used to load like in 1.5 seconds on iOS 11 on this iPhone 5S. Now it loads in 1.15 seconds, 20% faster. And there's some other the cold boot's even faster, Michael, at 8% faster, and you probably can hear Michael talking to somebody very loudly on the phone over there, so sorry, that's distracting. But anyway, so that's pretty good considering these are, older devices that they can run a lot faster with iOS 12. So if you're on the fence, I guess you can upgrade, but I will give you my advice. Do not upgrade right now because usually you'll end up coming up with some weird bug that'll drive you crazy. That's why I'm still running iOS 11. Okay, cool. I appreciate that. Thank you. And Bruce says he can't hear me. That's weird. Michael? Bruce is saying that he would update. I'm sorry, Bruce. I don't agree with you. I think I'm going to wait for that dot release like I always recommend to our listeners. Just not ready to pull the trigger on it, because the thing about an iOS device is once you upgrade it, there's no like rolling it back, no uninstall, no I want to go back to the previous version. No. Once you upgrade, you're done. You're done. But if you've got a friend maybe has similar hardware, use similar apps, and if you're that gung ho about doing it, maybe want to check with them first. That's just my recommendation. But always be like Bruce and Michael and just pull the trigger on day one. And when your iOS device breaks, don't come crying to Guru.
Well, that was another gentleman named Andrew, not the one we know.
Oh, okay.
But he was listening and on the show. By the way, if you're still listening, the phone number we take here for live calls is 256-782-5600. And we appreciate you.
Call that one because I can Get to that phone a lot
But
easier.
anyway,
and I don't have to sit here and like try to talk to myself while Michael's on the phone, which I do a very poor job.
no,
of,
you
by
did
the way.
great. He said
I felt like I was just rambling.
He said that he was one of the ones that absolutely did update, and his is faster too. He did notice that.
Well, I mean, this Ars Technica article, it goes into some load times, and I don't want to read through this like I'm reading a telephone book to you.
Right, but the apps I noticed are what is really load much faster.
Yeah, that's what that's what they're showing here. Different apps. These are native apps, and they also show the cold boot times. You know, from startup, like the iPhone's 5S on iOS 10.3.3. It was like a 26-second boot. On iOS 11, it went from 26 to 38, 12 seconds slower.
Now,
then by the time you get to the 12.0 iOS Gold Master, it went from 38 to 25 seconds, an 8% increase in speed.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, but like I was saying, I'm still not ready to pull the trigger on a new cry to Apple. Okay. I'm not I'm just not I've gotten burned several times in the last couple years because of these .0 releases. And if it's I'm sorry, and maybe it's because I'm an IT professional and I just don't take the .0 release.
Oh, yeah, it's fine. Each to their own. You know how we feel.
I will warn you, like I said a second ago, and I'll say it to Michael. Thing with iOS devices, there's no going back. Once you upgrade, you're done. You're done. And there's, just you have been warned.
Yes.
And no backup's going to. I back up my phone. Well, backing up your phone doesn't back up the OS. Not if you back it up through Apple's means. It just backs up your personal settings and data. And if you restore from a backup, it's still going to.
That's correct.
The OS will still be that 12.0 or whatever you had on it. So, just be warned. And I'm not saying shy away from it, because I know people are like, man, Guru, you're just so like negative Nelly on that. But I would just yes, you can do an image, Bruce, but that's like uber nerdy, and I won't even do that.
Well, this is what this show is uber nerdy. Come on.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that, but Bruce will tell you how to do that.
Oh, Bruce knows. So anyway, but yeah, mine was much faster, and I was amazed at the difference. And one thing I did know is that the control center has changed. Like if you normally, I would scroll up from the bottom, swipe up from the bottom, but now it's over in the corner, the top corner, and when I'm looking at the iPad, it is the top corner on the right-hand side. You move diagonal in, and that brings up the control center. And seemed has to have changed, obviously. And so it was a little different learning curve for me. I didn't realize that was going to change. And I think there's some other changes. I haven't gotten to dive into them like I'd like to. And I think we've got another call on the air. So some great calls tonight. Who's calling?
Yeah, Andrew's back on the line with us.
Okay.
So let me bring him in here.
Well, welcome, Andrew. I decided to call in. I appreciate that. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing good. How are y'all doing?
Good.
Doing well.
Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Jacksonville. I'm a student at JSU.
Oh, there we go.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Thanks for tuning in.
So what?
Absolutely.
Which version of the iOS product do you have?
I have an iPhone 10, and then I have an iPad Air 2nd edition that I've had for a couple of years. I don't use my iPad Air as much, but I definitely use my iPhone 10 all the time, and I love it. But I just recently updated the 10 to iOS 12. I'm a computer science major, so and I like making, learning how to code and stuff. So I'm actually like learning how to make iOS apps, but I have found that even as a developer, I don't like upgrading early. But I did upgrade just as this iOS 12 came out, and I feel like it's the smoothest, update I've had on a, phone. Because usually I feel like when I update my iPhone, whether it's the 10 or any iPhone, I feel like I get like slower performance.
Yeah,
update.
And that was one. Oh, sorry. And that was one of the big complaints for the last version. I mean, even the dot ones and twos and all.
iOS 11 was awful.
It was not much. The updating was not very good. Every time they let it iteration, there was more trouble.
But that's very promising to hear that. It may you maybe sway me, Andrew, to go ahead and pull the trigger now, since because I was a CS student, CS graduate from JSU CS program, so fellow going to the same program. I trust you there.
What year are you?
I'm technically a junior. This is my 4th year of college. I transferred from
Okay.
places. I used to go to community college. But yeah, I love programming stuff. I kind of got into it when I was 14. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, like, out of all the updates I've ever done, this is the first one that I really feel like means a lot to me because it's so much smoother. Like, it really is. Scrolling through stuff, opening apps. Anyways, just all the nitty-gritty stuff most normal people, I think, don't care about but do sometimes, But yeah.
Just out of curiosity, how do you feel about the Face ID?
I like it. I will say it's slower than Touch ID, and I don't feel like, as far as like when I updated iOS 12, that it was any quicker. But I mean, I do like Face ID. The only time I ever find Face ID kind of annoying is if I'm just waking up and my face is still laying on the pillow. It won't notice my face, that kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
But other than that,
Okay.
I mean, it works pretty well. It's really convenient, especially when I'm trying to just, I don't know, go into anything and, it just scans my face and I can already look at my mail or whatever. Not mail, but
right.
say I'm trying to go on reasons or something.
Do you find that has some false negatives? Like, for instance, does it not recognize your face a good amount, or not? Is it pretty good at recognizing your face?
I would say it's pretty good at recognizing the face. You mean whether it's in the dark or in the light? I would say actually at nighttime, it's actually usually better. It's normally in the morning or something, or if I'm in my car and I'm trying just to check something really, really quick or just something like that, and I'm holding it away from my face. So that's one thing I do find. I guess if you're not holding it, if you're holding it in front of your face, it will get it. I feel like it gets it every time. But if I'm holding it kind of down by my side, like I'm in class or something, I can't just hold it, do that secretly and it scan my face, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, it does.
All right. So one more question. Have you ever thought about getting a smartwatch of any type? Do you have an Apple Watch?
I do not. I have thought about getting it. I do like the new ones they have now that they came out with last year with cellular, and
yes.
I think that's something that really sounds like a nice feature to have. So I think cellular would be really nice. So if I got one, I'll probably get a cellular model. That way, if I'm on vacation, that kind of thing, I can use it when I'm,
cool.
Away from the phone a little bit. I just like cool things like that. So.
Okay.
So what do you think about the new Series 4 they announced last week?
I really haven't looked much into it. I missed the keynote, but I have checked out the new 10S, 10R, and then 10S Max models.
Yeah.
I do like the gold model. I don't know how much, how great it looks in person, so I may upgrade to that, but I haven't really checked into the new Apple Watch iteration. What's new in it this time?
Bunch of stuff. Go back and listen to our last week's show.
Last week's show, we covered it right at the first, by the way. HeyTechiesShow.com, and you can even get the podcast there.
Yeah.
But the truth of the matter is they upgraded pretty much everything on it. I mean, everything inside.
The Face
got
IDs
is
supposed to be faster. Yeah. What they claim. So.
But I was yeah. So we'll see. Hey, look, thank you so much for calling us.
Yeah, thank you, Andrew. Appreciate it.
We really appreciate it. And
absolutely appreciate you guys. Y'all got a really awesome show. I like hearing and listening. So I'll definitely check you guys out online and check that out because that's cool.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Yeah, swing by the studio anytime.
Yeah, you have a good evening.
Absolutely, y'all too. Y'all take care.
All right, you too.
All right. Well, the Hey Techie Show will be rolling into our dose as soon as Guru can put the music.
Yeah, and see if NPR comes up. If not, we'll scramble.
We
may
have NPR. We may not have a news break. Well, top of the hour news break coming up if we have it. Hey Techie Show will be back for our dose.
Storm system known as Florence has dissipated. Its after effects continue to be felt in the form of flooding. Florence is now blamed for at least 41 deaths. NPR's Jason Beaubien is near Kingston, North Carolina, and says conditions remain bad.
It's been a week since Hurricane Florence made landfall, and you still are feeling the impacts of this storm. I'm in the town of Kinston, or I'm just on the outside of the town of Kinston, and it is now flooded. The waters are just not even 100 meters away from us here. Traffic is all blocked up. You've got some utility crews that are attempting to get through. It has managed to completely tie up traffic in this part of the state because all of the bridges going over the Neuse River in this area of North Carolina are currently closed as this river continues to rise. And part of the problem is that where those rises and falls are happening is shifting almost constantly.
NPR's Jason Beaubien. The woman who's accused Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh of assaulting her decades ago at a high school party has told the Senate Judiciary Committee she would be prepared to testify next week, so long as senators can ensure her safety and offer what were described as terms that are fair. In an email, lawyers for Christine Blasey Ford say the timetable of Monday hearing, however, is not possible. The letter also reportedly goes on to say Ford's preference is for a full investigation before any testimony is heard. A call between the two sides was expected to take place today. A year after Hurricane Maria made landfall on Puerto Rico, residents there are attending memorial services. The Category 4 storm is estimated to have killed 3,000 people. NPR's Adrian Florido reports from San Juan.
Remembrances were held from coast to coast. In Old San Juan, Governor Ricardo Rosselló said it was a day of reflection and resolve.
Recognizing and remembering with heartfelt pain those that we've lost, but building a stronger path forward to the coming generations as our duty to those who were left behind.
Earlier, the governor appeared with Federal Housing and Urban Development Secretary Ben Carson to announce the arrival of $1.5 billion out of a total $20 that HUD has pledged for Puerto Rico. Much of that is slated to repair tens of thousands of still damaged homes on the island. Adrian Florido, NPR News, San Juan.
Sales of previously owned homes remained relatively flat last month, with a shortage of entry-level houses on the market, those priced at $250,000 or less. National Association of Realtors says over the past 12 months, sales of previously owned homes have fallen by 1.5%, primarily due to rising prices and escalating mortgage interest rates. Median sales price of a home in July was up 4.6% from a year ago to $264,800. An update on Wall Street, the Dow gained 251 points. The Nasdaq was up 78 points today. You're listening to NPR.
Technologic.
Trash it, change it, melt, upgrade it, charge it, point it, zoom it, press it, snap it, work it, quick erase it, write it, cut it, paste it, save it, load it.
Welcome back into our dose of the Hey Techies Show. Guru, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing fantastic.
And we've had a great evening.
It's been great. We're only 1 hour through this thing. We've had 2 callers. I think we've never had 2 callers in 1 hour before.
Yeah, that's super. So we appreciate the callers.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you so much. Now, Guru sort of teased, and I guess there's not a ton to this story, but it was the one where we've already got people standing outside in the lines.
Yeah, I think I already covered.
You've already covered that.
We already kind of covered that.
I thought we kind of covered that.
Yeah,
I was just trying to go through the stuff. We covered so much a while ago. I was trying to go through the stuff we covered.
Well, the thing I teased, we'll get to in a minute, but I wanted to cover these 2 things real quick. I know we're getting Apple heavy here, but we need to get this out of the way. We can move on because there's other things to talk about.
Apparently not. Go ahead.
Well, I clicked on the wrong article. There was another one. Hang on. Try to delay for me here. There was a kind of an interesting one, and then kind of a one. I can't find it.
Still can't believe those folks are already standing in line. But I should know that.
That's
already.
Normal.
I know it's normal, but they can get it online.
So here you go. So we talked about how expensive the new iPhones are last week.
Yes.
In our prediction, in a couple of years, are probably a $2,000 or more iPhone. But so if the price tag didn't scare you off, Some of these cases may really scare you off. So this is an article from Mac Rumors. The most expensive iPhone XS cases you can get.
Wow.
Yeah, so are you ready for this? So, we talked about the prices. It can go as high as $14.49 just for the device if you want a XS Max with 512 of storage. But there's a case. Gray's Alter Ego line of cases available in titanium, stealth, gold, and aurora.
Good.
This is the case now. The price of the case starts at. Are you ready for this?
I can only imagine.
$1,457. The cases are all made from aerospace grade titanium and offer a minimal design with an X shape that covers the back of the phone, along with protective covers at each of the corners to protect it from drops.
Yeah, protect it from drops.
You'll have to look at these pictures. We'll put the link in the show notes. I mean, it's just barely covering the phone up. It's not really, like my case here, if you're watching a YouTube stream, or even Michael's case, it does a decent job protecting the back, the sides. This is like covering the corners, and it's got this kind of X shape of the material across the back of it.
Hey.
That's it.
Hey, it's minimalist and protects and cost a fortune.
It's not it's not minimal price. Excuse me.
Cost a fortune.
The Aurora version of the Alter Ego case, priced at $2,763 for the XS and $3,000 for the XS Max, features hand-torched titanium to achieve a colorful finish, with each piece offering a unique array of colors. The Aurora and the Gold Alter Ego cases are limited to 100 pieces, while there are 500 of the Stealth Edition available. So there you go. If you didn't think the phones were expensive, the cases are even more expensive, folks. Anyway, I saw that, so we got to talk about that. I mean, so there you go. And here's something else real quick about the XS, or this is more iPhone 10. Anyway, so the headline here: iPhone 10 cases may have slightly imperfect fit on the iPhone XS due to new camera bump dimensions. So, if you were waiting for that XS, you didn't have a 10 like my buddy I work with. He had like an iPhone 6 something, and he was gonna go to the 10. But I know I'm one of these. I have to have a case when I get my phone. I can't just I can't wear it. I can't carry it on me without a case. And sometimes if you're bleeding edge, it's hard to find cases for these new phones because the manufacturers just haven't had time to ramp up production and all that. So you think, well, I'm going to get a XS. This iPhone 10 case should work. No, it won't work in this case. So there's new reports suggest, this is another Mac Rumors article, that iPhone 10 cases may have a slightly imperfect fit on the XS due to very slight changes in the camera bump dimensions. What I mean by that is the camera kind of protrudes from the back of the case.
Oh.
You know how my 8 does that.
I wondered about that.
Yeah, so you can't, an iPhone 10 case may not fit the 10S, depending on the case probably. If it's precision, it may not.
There you go.
So, there's a picture here of it fits, but it's kind of off a little bit. So anyway, I thought that was kind of an interesting little tidbit there. So just be careful, with your cases, because it may not be exactly. And those of you who are like me and got to have a case for your phone, just kind of beware as you're shopping.
So what's the case you kind of like? Over the years of the ones have you tried different ones?
Yes, I used to be a fan of the OtterBox line.
Yes, that's what I have. An Otter.
And I like it. It's just, to me, it's a little bulky.
They can be,
but it does. But protecting your phone, hands down, there's not much else that can protect. There's not that case does a very good job protecting the phone.
See, for my Pixel 2, it has no face coverage. It's only the sides, a little bit of a lip that keeps it,
Yeah.
And I haven't had a problem with glass at all, but thank the Lord.
Yeah, I've got this Spigen, S-P-I-G-E-N, Spigen.
Mm-hmm.
And it covers, the back and the sides very well, and it kind of wraps around the front, but it doesn't have no kind of built-in screen protector, no front face like an OtterBox would. But I've paired this case with one of those glass screen protectors, the actual glass. And I actually got the glass screen protector at Walmart. And I liked it because it had a good means of applying it to the case. It had it was interesting. It came in a metal tin.
Mm-hmm.
And inside of it, you had this plastic kind of molded thing inside the metal tin to where you would you did all the prep on your phone, and you pull off the protective cover of the screen protector, and you set your phone on there and like lay the like a template almost, and you lay it over top. And it lines up perfectly. There's no air bubbles. It's just perfection.
Wow.
And I get very kind of peculiar.
You're very good at that, by the way.
Well, I can't stand those bubbles. They just annoy me so much. I mean, it's my OCD kicks in.
Yeah.
I mean, but.
Oh, sure.
But I've had good luck. Now, I have dropped this phone once, and I cracked the screen protector. But I did have it. I did not have it in this case. I had it in an Apple case, one of the kind of Apple cases I'd gotten.
Right.
So this one's done a good job thus far. Now, knock on wood here. Now, I say that I'm probably going to drop it out here in the parking lot tonight, but I do have Apple Care Plus on my device. So, if I do crack the screen, they'll replace it with that $79 deductible or something. But anyway, yeah. So, yeah, if you want one that protects, OtterBox. You can't beat OtterBox. But I'm satisfied with what I got now. It's kind of a good compromise between protection and less bulk.
Speaking of Apple, we've been talking a lot about them, and I know I really kind of, hopefully we can wrap this up, but I want to get this last story.
Well, I got one more after this.
2 more stories here. We'll try to wrap this up. Quickly, though, we talked about last week the possibility of we've talked about for weeks to weeks.
Yeah.
What they might do. Would they do the Mac Mini? Would they update one? Would they bring
I think they're going to.
But there is a story. I don't know if you've seen this. Headline from it's a Bloomberg website. U.S. to spare some Apple goods from latest China tariffs. I know most of you know that there's there's been a tariff war going on with us and China.
Yes.
And the war, war is a loose term. It's not like a regular war. It's just a battle of words and actually actions. And in some places, some companies are probably going to get hurt, and some are not going to get hurt. It's always going to be that way, one way or the other. But it's a differing opinion of how to govern that part of how we trade back and forth. And anyway, but to sort of dovetail all of this, this article says the Trump administration spared a category of high-tech products that include Apple Watch and AirPods headphones from the next round of tariffs. Now, an interesting thing added to this. It says a product code that covers Apple Inc.'s watch and AirPods, as well as similar smartwatches, fitness trackers, and other goods made by competitors, including Fitbit Incorporated, was not on the list. Okay. A separate code that covers the Mac Mini was also not on the list of new tariffs.
There's more evidence is coming.
Yeah, so why would that be on the list of things possibly coming back into the United States?
Trump wants to buy a Mac Mini.
That's it. And he doesn't want that on the list.
He don't want to pay a tariff. I mean,
could very well be. Could very well be.
So, lastly,
yes,
we'll kind of put the iPhone stuff to bed for now. I mean, we'll probably be back. So, so Tim Cook was interviewed by Robin Roberts of Good Morning America this week.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and one of the things, this is a Mac Rumors article again. I apologize. Mac Rumors is a good source of information. This is headline. Tim Cook on iPhone XS. People want the most innovative phone possible, and it's not cheap to do that. If you were listening to the show last week, he was quoted by the press something along the lines of they've got an array of products because they want to make it affordable. So there's a product, an iPhone product.
Oh yeah,
that would meet your budget. You don't have to get this $1,000, $1,400 device.
No, just $749.
Yeah, but anyway, so an interview with Good Morning America's Robin Roberts this morning. On Tuesday morning, Apple's CEO Tim Cook discussed the new iPhone XS, XS Max with Apple Watch. Blah 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 blah. Roberts asked Cook about the cost of the iPhone XS and XS Max line, the latter of which is Apple's most expensive iPhone to date.
Sure.
Cook explained that monthly payment plans provided by carriers help make the cost of the phone easier to digest. And yes, in a sense that is true. You don't have to pay that up front. You can make the payments over time. He pointed out all the technology, including the iPhone, replacing previous separate gadgets like MP3 players and digital cameras, requires each smartphone to be priced at a premium. Cook also mentioned Apple's aim to, quote, serve everyone. So he brought that up again, which was mentioned in an interview last week. So this is what Tim Cook's actual quoted response was to that. So Robin asked, one model starts at almost $1,100. Are you afraid that a group of people are just being priced out? And Cook said, well, we want to make an iPhone for everyone. That's always been our objective. And we've got several iPhones in the line, and they go down to materially lower. But if you look at this phone, it's the most advanced iPhone we've ever done, which that's always the case. The way most people pay for these, they do a deal with the carrier and then pay so much per month. So if you look at it, even the iPhone's priced over $1,100. Most people pay $30 a month for it. So it's like $1 a day. I kind of want to stop there for a second. $1,000. I'm trying to figure out how you get $30 a month, because my phone was not $1,000 when I bought it. And I'm paying a lot more than $30 a month. I don't know. Maybe you can, but like if you divide 1,000 by 24, it's a lot more than 30.
Correct.
Just saying. I mean, just trying to keep the fact checker going in here. It goes on. He goes on to say, and so if you look at all of it, the iPhone has replaced your digital camera, it's replaced your video camera, it's replaced your music player, it's replaced all these different devices, and so arguably the product is really important. And we found people want to have the most innovative product available, and it's not cheap to do that. So I'm going to go, this is me now, my opinion here. He is correct. Tim Cook is correct. We used to have a digital camera. If we choose to have a digital music player, there used to be MP3 players like the Zune and other ones, or you did the poor man's way when I was in college, and you used burned CDs, which I don't know if MP3 players were such a thing when I was in college. Anyway, I can remember not having an MP3 player and having to burn stuff to CDs. I used to burn podcasts to CDs.
Yeah.
Before podcasts were a thing.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, but Tim's right. Like, this thing has replaced our lives, and the camera in these new iPhones, even my iPhone, this 8 Plus. I mean, the camera's amazing. I've got a digital SLR that I don't even use. For several years, I let a friend borrow it, and I'd kind of really forgotten they'd had it till they get back. They're like, oh, that's right. But I mean, these are remarkable devices. But here's the thing. For years, this device has replaced a lot of things for me. So if you look back several years ago, when it really, I think iPhone kind of turned the corner about around the 6-ish model. Mm-hmm. The iPhone 6 is when it really started getting like really good camera. And then this one's with the dual lens even better.
Right.
But I was paying $500-$600 for a phone, $700 for a phone. Now you're paying $1,000.
Yeah.
In a couple of years. And I mean, that's a lot faster than the rate of inflation.
Yeah.
I mean, he can kind of say that now, and I will agree with him in terms of it's replaced a lot of things. But what's going to be your defense next year?
Look,
when
Chris,
it's $1,800, and then it's $2,000 a couple of years later.
Look, Guru, this is people's lives.
That is a true statement.
People live their lives on our great devices. Yeah. They're wonderful. You're going to love them. I'm going to bring out Greg Federini to show you the new iOS 12. Yeah, we need a woo. Well, when the Hey Techie show comes back, we will try to move on to something else if we will let ourselves. But it's just so interesting.
Well, I have one more thought. I'll save it for after the break.
Yeah, Hey Techie show. Be right back.
No representation is made that the opinions of hosts here are better than those of the average tech show, but we think so.
This is an Alabama legacy moment.
The Little River Canyon National Preserve, located in Cherokee County, was created in 1992 by an act of the U.S. Congress and was dedicated as a unit of the National Park Service. The area's focal point is the Little River, which flows along Lookout Mountain and is an outdoor recreation destination. Small waterfalls, sandstone bluffs, trails, creeks, and streams draw visitors to the area.
Sponsored by the Alabama Bicentennial Commission, the ABA, and this station.
When a child plays with blocks, the skills of a future engineer, rocket scientist, contractor, and architect are developing. A child on the playground is practicing the skills of a future athlete. When a child creates art, the skills of a future illustrator, author, and artist are being discovered. In a first-class pre-K classroom, children do all these things and discover a lifetime love of learning. For more information on pre-K, go to children.alabama.gov or just Google pre-K.
Welcome back in to the Hey Techies show.
Well, it's really the iOS
we're going
update.
Well, we're going to move
So,
on here in a minute.
I
got one final thought.
Just joking.
One final
thought for Guru.
Yeah. So, you mentioned this is our lives, and I mean they've.
Well, yeah,
that's kind of the Apple Kool-Aid.
This is the most beautiful device we've ever made, and you're going to love it.
But when you said that, it made me think of this. So for your average consumer, I think most of them have just a smartphone these days. Where
oh yeah, absolutely.
Over a decade ago, when we didn't have smartphones as prevalent, or even before the iPhone, before smartphones were a thing, everybody had. If you had a computer, you more than likely had a desktop laptop at your house, right?
Oh yeah.
So, and we're kind of the 1%ers because we have. I mean, look, I've got like 2 computers in front of me plus my smartphone. Yeah,
but we're doing a tech show.
But even, I mean, these are my personal devices.
I know that. I got it.
And then at the house, I've got yet another computer.
Right.
So, I think we're kind of the exception, not the rule. But I mean, most average consumers, this is it. And yeah, I can you kind of can agree with Tim in that sense that this is it.
Oh yeah.
And before you'd buy a laptop computer, you would get. PC laptop would get about 3 years out of it, 3 to 4, 3 to 5. Then you're replacing it, and they used to be close to $2,000 at one point,
and they still are.
Yeah, I mean, but it is what it is at this point. We're hooked, hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah.
So might as well quit complaining about it. Let's just move on. So. Just have to start taking wagers when Guru will actually buy a new phone.
Yeah, people are friends of mine are saying they're watching you.
Are they?
Yeah,
are they really?
They're watching you to see if you're going to buy a new one.
No, I'm not ready to buy one yet. Now, who knows? I may have iOS 12 on this device come next Thursday. We'll start taking wagers on that, I guess. Because Andrew did convince me. He really did convince me. I may have to go ahead and pull the trigger early.
Why don't you try? Well, don't you have some other products, right? Don't you have an iPad still? Or?
I do, but like my nephews basically own it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because when they come over, they got so many game stuff on it. I just let them.
That's right. You traded your phone, didn't you? Your last phone, didn't you? You sold it or traded it, right?
Yeah, I sold it to Gazelle.
That's right.
Yeah.
I was just thinking of,
I don't have another device to test it on.
You don't have a tester device?
Well, no, I don't have a tester.
Hey, wait. If you buy a new iPhone 10, then you have a tester device. You see there?
The problem is I'm still paying for this one.
Just,
so if once I make 12 payments,
correct.
I can turn this one in.
Yeah, there you go.
So.
Look, folks, he's never going to do it. The Face ID alone is never going to do it. He's going to be stuck on that phone forever. 20 years from now, Guru's going to have an iPhone 8. This thing still works.
I'll say this. We always say this on the show. We shall see.
Yeah.
This is no different.
Yeah, that's true.
And I'm going to put the iPhone stuff to rest, at least for now, until we get to the rumor segment.
Well, we better. We're not going to have much time left. I mean, we'll
touch
I've got
on
a few stories to cover. I really want to get this Amazon stuff in if we can.
Yes.
A couple things. There's a few articles out here today about Amazon, and they've been doing some internal investigation. Amazon has of their own self. They're saying that they have some. They believe what is employees that are being bribed and leaking.
Oh, really?
Information outside Amazon.
Well, earlier this week, I found an article that there was a leak of some products, and they actually were announced today.
Well, there you go.
So, I mean, there you go.
One of the quotes from here is an Amazon spokesperson talking about the investigation statement to the Journal, and I'm thinking that's the Washington Journal, if I'm not mistaken. He said, "We hold our employees."
Wall Street Journal.
Probably Wall Street, yeah. You're right. I'm sorry, Wall Street Journal. "We hold our employees to a high ethical standard, and anyone in violation of our code faces discipline, including termination and potential legal and criminal penalties," the statement reads. "We have a zero tolerance for abuse of our systems, and if we find bad actors who have engaged in this behavior, we will take swift, not Taylor, but swift action against them, including terminating their selling accounts, deleting reviews, withholding funds, and taking legal action." Okay. I mean, this pretty much covers all the
any company you work for. If you because of the course of doing your job function, you get exposed to confidential information. Yeah, I mean, you don't need to disclose it. I mean, it makes great news like, oh, that reporter got a scoop on the new product. I mean, we have a rumor segment on the show, and a lot of these rumors are because of people close to the matter, or reports are showing, or this was leaked.
Well, it says the employees have, according to this, reported to the Wall Street Journal, employees have been allegedly handing over confidential information like search optimization data or to independent sellers, mostly via middlemen, to give them a leg up. I know what it is. In the marketplace.
It's that moth that's flying around.
Moth is bothering me. I need to start. Wow. So anyway, they're also alleging offered sellers a way to delete negative product reviews in return for a fee. There you go. Now that would be something.
Oh, how about that?
So anyway, and then along with that, I don't know if you saw this, but Amazon, and I think this, well, you may be covering that in the rumor segment. I'm not sure about the cashier-free Go stores.
You go ahead and talk about it. We'll just kind of
Amazon's cashier-free Go stores, they're said to open in Chicago. So they're according, they're not going to have any kind of cashiers.
Yeah, well, I went to the one in Seattle.
Ryan, you told us about it.
Yeah.
And some people are really linking this to possibly thousands of people eventually losing jobs that they might normally had as, say, cashier or front end help.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not sure that's good. I mean, they may have fine jobs in other areas. There's always going to be this type of issue with technology. Any kind of technology, you have to sort of adapt. Now, is it the greatest thing ever? I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Is it perfect? I'm sure it will not be.
Well, my experience with the Amazon Go store in Seattle is, I mean, it's just like it didn't feel right, but it worked. I mean, what I left the store with is what I got paid for. But it don't feel right because it's ingrained in our souls to you go to a store, you select your purchases, and you go to the cashier before you leave, and they ring up your purchases, they check you out, and you pay for it. Then, if they've got it figured out, I mean, hey, I hate it for folks that would lose their jobs over it, and hopefully they can repurpose those positions in some other form. Because I used to work retail. I mean, and a lot of the people that worked for me when I was a manager, they worked in these type of positions where they were doing the point of sale, transactions. And that situation. So, talking about Amazon real quick. I need to throw this link in our little internal document.
By all means, get those in there.
Yeah, let me stick it in right there. Okay, that's a little insider baseball there. But this was a rumor converted now to news because I had this for the rumor segment, which we'll get to here in a few minutes. But Amazon had a surprise hardware event today. So this is somewhat breaking. Correct. So. I don't want to go into too much detail. We can save this, maybe talk about it later, because I know Bruce really likes to talk about this, and he's without words right now. He's speechless.
Yeah, Bruce, you're looking good over there.
Yeah,
buddy.
Sure are.
Very speechless.
So they got a new. They announced a new Echo Dot today.
Yes, great. An Echo clock.
Oh, there's an Echo clock?
Apparently. Okay. I think Bruce is interested in the clock. I guess he can't tell time. I don't know.
They had an Echo Auto. They said they've built the ultimate portable device for taking Alexa on the road. The Echo Auto. It'll be available on an invite basis for $24.99 before expanding to all customers and jumping to price of $49.99.
I think there's like 20 products or something like that.
Echo Input. Yeah, there's a second generation Echo Plus. Echo Sub. This was part of what I found was a room. This got leaked about the Echo Sub. With the Echo Sub, it's like it's an Echo speaker with a lot of bass, basically. It's like a subwoofer. And when paired with an Echo or Echo Plus, the Echo Sub will fill in the low end and make your music sound much fuller. Excuse me. Echo Show, second generation. The Alexa Guard.
Wow.
Home security.
Of course.
Amazon Basics microwave.
Yeah, I know. I saw that. It's like $60.
Interesting, because I like the.
So I guess you can just tell it to make you some popcorn.
Yeah. The
Amazon. I mean Alexa, make me some popcorn.
Well, I do like the Amazon Basics cables. Have you ever tried those? So speaking of Amazon Basics.
Cable, as in cables,
like cables, like this.
Okay,
is the cable
all right.
right here.
Yeah. No, I haven't.
Yes, and they actually, I've been swearing by them for like my iOS devices, especially with my nephews because they're kind of rough on the cords and they'll break them. So you can get longer links and they're affordable and they're a lot more durable than the Apple ones. But I recently purchased a Amazon Basics Lightning USB cable. It was double braided, and that connector on the end is like super reinforced. Now I paid like $15 for it. It's not like super cheap. It ain't like a monoprice cheap cable, but
hey,
well, I'm just saying cheap in price.
I
but
know what
it's
you're
got some quality to it, you know.
That's
Anyway,
good.
there's some more stuff. We'll put this article from The Verge, and it goes into some detail. This was like, this article is like the 15 big things out of 14 biggest announcements, but there was a lot more than that. So we could probably spend 2 hours just talking about that announcement today.
Well, I'm sure. Maybe Bruce will have some insight for the next show.
Yeah, we can kind of table that till next week. So I tried to click something here and it didn't. There it goes. Might help actually click the button for the music. All right. I feel like I'm spending this. I'm like taking over the conversation tonight with all this stuff I'm talking about.
We're good. Yeah.
I just closed one of the articles I wanted to talk about. Man, hang on here. Let's see. So, that it? Yes. Okay. First one. It's kind of the music's distracting me. So, and we talked. You were kind of thinking the iPhone XS, XS Plus, all that was going to go to USB-C. You remember? I don't know if you. I don't know if you mentioned that on air.
Oh
but
yes,
several
times.
Me and you discussed that amongst ourselves.
Of course, it did not.
So get this. So headline: iOS 12.1 simulator supports virtualized 4K external displays, hinting at USB-C port for the iPad Pro. And what I mean by the simulator, what's a simulator, Guru? So if you're developing iOS apps, like I know our caller Andrew earlier has done some iOS app development. Part of the Xcode toolset, they give you the iPhone, iPad simulator where you can run your app on your Mac.
Right.
So that's what this is talking about. After installing the iOS 12.1 beta, the SDK, the iOS simulator in Xcode appears to offer support for virtualized 4K external displays. And what that means is, like with these iPads and these other devices, you can sometimes tether external displays, and these simulators simulate everything on the phone, including doing that. So you could, if your app, maybe use an external display as part of it, you could simulate that without actually having to deploy it to a device.
Right.
So that's what they're talking about here. That's not a feature that's possible with existing iOS devices. Talking about the 4K external displays using a Lightning HDMI adapter, which it suggests it could be a new option targeted at upcoming iPad Pro models that are rumored to be getting USB-C ports instead of Lightning ports. So that's kind of, they're putting the pieces together to kind of speculate that the iPad Pro may have a USB-C port instead of a Lightning port. So you may have been a little ahead of your time with the USB-C rumor on the iPhone XS.
I know. Oh well.
So
still think they need to move to USB-C, but hey.
But I mean, it may be coming on this iPad Pro, and I mean this.
Yeah, I thought they needed to move with the phone. That would have been brave.
And this is one of those devices that was rumored to kind of go alongside the Mac Mini.
Yes.
And if that's going to happen, it'll probably happen in October, ahead of the holiday shopping season, especially the iPad Pro. Here's another iPad Pro rumor, since we're kind of talking about iPad Pro. So iPad Pro with Face ID rumors bolstered by iOS 12.1 beta. So more stuff related to these iOS betas that are released to developers. So Apple's recently released iOS 12.1 beta contains code that suggests the new iPad is coming this fall. The string iPad 2018 fall was discovered by Guilherme Rambo, reporting for 9 to 5 Mac. This, along with numerous other leaks, suggest that we should expect a new iPad to be announced before the end of the year, which I just said. Possibly a new iPad Pro with Face ID and an edge-to-edge notch display.
Okay.
Where's the part about Face ID that's in this iOS 12.1? Oh, man. I missed... anyway. But, yeah. It's amazing these people pick apart this code in these beta SDKs.
Yeah. Well, we had seen someone else, if I recall correctly, there was a rumor that there was going to be, most people were almost sold that there'd be USB-C on the new phones because they had seen some code that they thought. But it might be, because seeing how the iOS 12 is for all their iOS devices, it may have been related to something else.
Right. So
and not necessarily the phones.
It sounds like it's pretty much not a done deal, but it's highly likely is what I'll classify that rumor. We should start classifying rumors. We need to start doing this. We need to come up with a scale of like
whether it'll happen or not.
Yeah,
highly likely.
This is highly likely, like 4 out of 5, 8 out of 10 type of thing. So
well, I just had one of those brain freezes. A lot of the times they bring out new products or new type of features on their iPad. I'm trying to think of a few of them. The pencil was with the iPad.
And that's
obviously.
not yet. And the iPhones don't support that
Well,
yet.
no, I know they don't. But I'm just saying new options a lot have been brought out on the iPad. New speakers, that whole new speaker design was 4 corners. I know it has more space. The newer chips, some of the newer chips that have been incorporated into the iPhone have been in the actual Apple. I'm sorry, the iPad at one time.
Actual Apple.
The actual Apple. No, the iPad.
Not the fake Apple.
Not the fake Apple.
Not the fake Apple or
the
fake
fake news either.
It's not the fake news like
You are fake news.
It's not that.
No.
Okay.
No. Anyway. Okay.
Yeah, that's the 2 rumors I had. I also had the one about the Amazon the Amazon Go stores, which we kind of already talked about that, and then the Echo subwoofer smart plug. We've already talked about that. That actually was real news and not a rumor. So, yeah, a little slow on the rumor front, but I'm curious to see where we go from here in terms of I haven't heard anything else about the Mac Mini.
I'm just curious.
Me as the consumer, I'm kind of waiting for that because, like I've said before, I need a new Mac, and I don't want to buy a MacBook Pro that I'm going to hook to a 34-inch display.
I got you. And the only as I said, they seem to try to keep the Mac Mini at a price point that is the lower price point so that it's their entry level, like they want to get people in.
Yeah, I mean,
I get it, but they skimp, like he was talking about. It's expensive for these top-notch devices. They skimp on the specs is the problem. They've always done that.
But
5,400 speed drives. Now, they won't have that now because they'll have solid state.
But you do have options to configure a Mac Mini to have higher performance.
You have had in the past.
You still do. But, I mean, the problem is it's several-year-old technology.
Right.
But when it's new, yeah, there's a opening price, a starting price, that's affordable, like you're saying.
Right.
But you can put in a better processor. You can put in more RAM. You can put in a SSD.
No, that's true.
Yeah, you're going to jump the price up to about $1,500. But considering the equivalent, MacBook Pro or iMac, I mean.
No, I know, yeah.
And like for me, I just don't want another iMac. I've got a very nice display that I've got currently connected to a MacBook Air. I just want.
You just need a little more power.
I need a horsepower.
Yeah,
I don't need a display.
Yeah, a little more horsepower and space. Yeah. So anyway, well, when the Hey Techies show comes back, we'll have our last segment.
Oh, it's almost over.
It is. It's almost over. We'll try to get the rest of whatever we got left in quickly. Hey Techies show.
HeyTechiesShow.com. Open 24/7, as long as we don't forget to pay the bill.
This is an Alabama legacy moment.
Harper Lee is best known as the author of one of the most affecting and widely read books of American literature, To Kill a Mockingbird. The native Alabamian drew deeply from her coming-of-age years in her small hometown of Monroeville. The film version of To Kill a Mockingbird underscored the success of the novel with its own success.
Sponsored by the Alabama Bicentennial Commission, the ABA, and this station.
The skills you can develop as a soldier in the Army National Guard can give you an edge in the high-tech job market of tomorrow. The Guard offers career training to take advantage of your skills in science, technology, engineering, and math that can help give you a leg up to a high-paying and rewarding STEM profession. Get a head start on your career while earning money to pay for college. Log on to NationalGuard.com to learn about all of the STEM career opportunities in the Army National Guard. Sponsored by the Alabama Army National Guard. Aired by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station.
An Alabama legacy moment.
Ruby Pickens Tart was one of the foremost chroniclers of folklore, folk music, and narratives of African Americans in rural Alabama. She helped to fill the manuscript and music collections of the Library of Congress and the Federal Writers Project. Ruby Pickens Tart continues to affect the world of folk music and culture as her notes are rediscovered by a new generation of scholars and musicians. She was inducted into the Alabama Women's Hall of Fame in 1980.
Sponsored by the Alabama Bicentennial Commission, the ABA, and this station.
You're listening to the Hey Techies Show on WLJS Jacksonville.
Welcome back into this last segment of the Hey Techie Show. A little Toad Wet Sprocket there.
That's right.
Yeah, so, Guru, did you know this? Did
What's
you know that you've heard of this ESPN Plus? ESPN Plus. It's
because the Gamecock football.
Is on.
Is it still on there this week too?
It is on there a few weeks, and then I think next week for homecoming, or the next week I forget, we're on ESPN3, and then it's back on ESPN Plus. It goes back and forth. Yeah. Anyway, they are now, according to this article from the LA Times, and other locations are reporting it as well. They're up to 1 million subscribers.
Wow.
$4.99 a month.
And this is the first season. Like when did this kick
came
off?
out in April, launched in April this year.
So this is the first football
season. Now ESPN3 has been around, but this is a online ESPN Plus.
But is ESPN3, is it online too?
Yes, it's online as well.
But that one's available if you're an ESPN
subscriber.
Like your cable or
correct,
satellite.
Right.
This is totally like.
That's correct.
Like if somebody was a cord cutter.
Correct.
They could pay for this.
That's what they're after.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And it covers things like Major League Baseball, National Hockey League, soccer, boxing, college football, and tennis.
And the Gamecocks.
And also features the full library of ESPN's acclaimed 30 for 30, the documentary series.
Okay.
That you do.
So it's almost the Netflix for the sports fan.
Sort of, except this is live events.
Yeah.
You know, now I'm sure you can get some replays.
You probably can replay, I would assume. Okay.
To a point, I imagine that at some point you can't. But
so it's $4.95 a month?
$4.99 a month. You know, the $5.
Yeah.
The $5 price range.
That's a bargain considering how much some sports channels cost on cable and satellite.
And then we briefly talked about Newegg. Apparently, they're saying they've had a little. Now, some people call it a hack, but apparently, what happened, and this tweet explains it from Newegg, and this was September 19th. And so on September 18th, we learned one of our servers had been injected with malware, which was identified and removed from our site. We are conducting extensive research to determine exactly what info was obtained and are sending emails to customers potentially impacted. So, by the way, they're telling you, please check your email.
Well, I bought something there in mid-July. I'm right on the cusp of being...
So, anyway, but... Check your email if you buy from Newegg recently.
I haven't got one yet from Newegg, so maybe I'm all right. So, you point at me for something.
I thought you said you had something.
Oh,
you're wanting to get some stuff in.
Yeah, here's one real quick. This is
well, that's what we're doing, an extended overclock stack.
Extended overclock stack.
Yeah, we're just trying to get what we got left.
So Ticketmaster, I found this one today. Ticketmaster accused of colluding with scalpers. You're like, what? So Ticketmaster has essentially been accused of colluding with scalpers and collecting double fees in the process. This is according to an investigation by the CBC and the Toronto Star. The outlet sent two undercover reporters to a live entertainment conference in July where representatives for Ticketmaster pitched them on Trade Desk, the company's invite-only proprietary platform for reselling tickets. So this platform enables resellers to purchase tickets in bulk from Ticketmaster's site and then resell them for higher prices, with Ticketmaster taking a percentage of both sales, raising or dropping the prices with a click of a button based on their assessment of fan demand. So while Ticketmaster is taking highly publicized legal action against bots and flagrant profiteers in the secondary market, including its own verified fan program, the report captures a rep on camera saying that Ticketmaster's buyer abuse team will look the other way when such practices take place on its own platforms. So there's more to this, but this thing goes on. But basically, yeah, we don't want scalpers, taking advantage of our stuff. But if it's our own stuff, we'll kind of ignore it, and because we can go make money. So I saw that, I was like, interesting. I mean, it's not tech, except it's Ticketmaster, and a lot of folks use Ticketmaster. So buyer beware. So here's one. This is kind of Bruce would kind of like this one. Construction to begin on a 36 megawatt Moroccan wind farm for Bitcoin mining.
There you go.
So this you can read the whole article here, but anyway, so they're building a wind farm for to mine Bitcoin, 36 megawatts. So I won't read.
No, where's it at?
Morocco.
Oh, Morocco. You said that.
So I said Moroccan. Yeah, but
Moroccan. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. So this company called Soluna, Soluna. They're a Bitcoin mining company. Wow, a company mining Bitcoin. What a concept.
Yeah.
They're going to start construction on a 36 megawatt wind farm near Dakhala, Morocco. I can't speak. In January of 2019. The company has rights to 37,000 acres of land, which could eventually accommodate up to 900 megawatts of capacity. So it's interesting. It's kind of an interesting thing. And then kind of on the same thing with power, I know Bruce is not here. And he'd probably like this one too because he's into this alternative renewable and all that with energy. This is from a local ABC affiliate. $1 million solar farm powering Sylacauga homes. Sylacauga, as in southern Talladega County here, just a short drive away. So, they're talking to a person, and basically, I did not read this ahead of time, so I'm having.
Okay.
But Alabama Municipal Electric Authority, they partnered with the Sylacauga Utilities Board on a project which includes 160 solar panels on about 1 acre of land. So, I mean, just a very small solar farm on an acre of land. The solar farm operates on a fixed axis system with south-facing panels and an output of 50 kilowatts.
Wow.
So this goes on. You can read this. The farm is located at 304 West Highland Avenue in Sylacauga. So I'll have to, next time I'm down there, we'll have to check it out. But there's a video here from the story that they covered. But interesting. So $1 million wind farm, or not wind farm, excuse me, solar farm, the other kind of farm.
So two different kinds of farms, huh?
You got a solar farm and the wind farm doing Bitcoin mining, and then the solar farm powering houses in Talladega County.
Oh, that's interesting.
On an acre of land.
Well, this week I saw a little update on ABC 3340, and I even texted you and Bruce about it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. It was talking about the fact that Southern Company has... It said that 8% of its power derived from renewables, such as wind and solar. Now,
8%.
It's what it said. That's about 8,000 megawatts, or I think that's what they said.
Yeah. But I remember this now because I think my question was like
About
hydro is renewable.
Yeah, I say that all the time.
But I guess it's not in the same category as this the new kids on the block.
Well, no,
renewable.
I can tell you what they don't like about it. They believe that it deoxygenization. It takes oxygen
out of the water.
That's what that's the claim is, and it eventually kills the fish.
Oh,
and so that's
I'm
why
not a biologist. I don't know.
A lot of those who rather like wind and solar, although they do conveniently forget how many birds are killed with wind. But okay. But well, I'm telling you, they do. Yeah. That's lots of them. You can find the news stories. It's very interesting.
And how many birds get sucked into airplane engines?
Well, too? That is. Hey, what about this, Guru? We didn't. I don't think we covered this. There is they had a test where they captured space junk with a giant net.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is from AP News. It's Cape Canaveral, Florida. A toss net has managed to capture space junk. They demonstrated ways to clean up debris. British-led experiment. They shot it from a satellite, a mini satellite, and it grabbed a piece of space junk. It says the distance covered nearly 20 feet and 6 meters, so it's about 6 meters. And they reassure in this article.
A wide net.
Yeah, this is not sci-fi. Repeat, not sci-fi. Tweeted the Texas-based company NanoRacks.
If it was sci-fi, then Scotty would have deployed the tractor beam and
Now they claim that the net and the junk will disintegrate. As it falls into orbit, it'll basically burn up in the atmosphere.
Okay.
So I guess it captures and tries and goes.
And then it deorbits itself.
Correct.
And
right.
That's interesting. I mean, there's a lot of space junk up there. They say.
I've
never been there, so I don't know.
Yeah, right. They also are going to test in a similar manner, apparently a harpoon of some type.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Harpoon
Harry's. Yeah. I'm sorry, I just threw that in there.
Harpoon Harry.
Sure, right.
Okay.
By the way, Guru, did you know that out in the old desert, way out in the desert, there is a 747 sitting out where they had the Burning Man festival?
Yeah, you were educating me on the Burning Man festival during the break.
Yes, and apparently,
can you tell live a sheltered life?
Well, hey. Apparently, one of the main rules for Burning Man's 80,000 attendees is to leave no trace. Well, apparently they did. And by the way, the U.S. Bureau of Land Management is not happy in Nevada.
Leave no trace except the 747.
It's not a full plane. It's just a partial of the plane. It has no wings.
Yeah, I was going to say, call Miami Rick. He can fly it out of there.
Yeah, right.
You may have trouble flying that one without wings on
it. Yeah, I don't even think it doesn't even have the engines. They used it. They sort of compartmentalized it, cut part of it out.
Yeah.
And used it as the staging area for a nightclub because, during the nighttime or during all day, this is a giant party out there in the desert.
If you say so.
I've never been. I'm just telling you what it is.
I wouldn't go. It sounds like you've been there. Sounds like you're speaking from experience.
I can't speak from experience. I mean, I would never go. It just not interest me at all. Oh, by the way, this too. Did you see where Coca-Cola is looking to take a portion of what's known as the marijuana drug and add into a future drink? Now, a lot of people are saying, yeah.
Really?
They want to infuse the drinks with CBD. It's the non-psychoactive ingredient in marijuana. It doesn't get you high, but it's supposedly the pain treatment. Treats pain. Lots of people have been reporting this erroneously, like Coke wants to use marijuana in their drinks and things like this, but I don't think that's what it is. Now, I don't have to be I'm not necessarily a fan of this, but it looks like to me it's some type of energy drink in the future that they,
those energy drinks aren't good for you.
They might carry.
Yeah.
So, anyway. Well, look, from all of us to all of you fine friends out there in the I don't know what I'll close with, but we hope you have a fabulous weekend.